Say hello to the newest member of the Nintendo Switch family and Nintendo's latest internet controversy, the Nintendo Switch OLED model. And I've gotta say, this quote-unquote controversy is just completely ridiculous. And I want to clarify this now, while I adore Nintendo, I am not a blind fanboy. The company is very prone to screwing things up. But this is not a screw up. See, the reason people are so mad about this is because the past year, they've been seeing fake leaks about a Switch Pro that has 4K, 60 FPS, it can give them a foot rub, it can compete with NASA rockets. I don't even know at this point. There's so many rumors. And this is why you don't believe stupid rumors you hear on the internet coming from ex-journalist here, because anyone can say they are a propagator of news and then just go and lie. Ask the Star Wars fanbase, they've been doing it for years. But I can't help but just find a lot of the complaints about this thing really funny, because people really were expecting essentially a next-gen console out of this. Like, say, people were unironically expecting this thing to output 4K. Like, you do realize this is a Nintendo Switch, right? You see this? It's called a PS4. Free guess is what it can't output. If this big old slab couldn't output 4K, what makes you think this tablet can? Like, people do realize that if you want to have a 4K Switch, you'd either have to A, make the Switch a home console, which would completely destroy the games on the go selling point of the Switch, or B, get complaints for being overpriced.
A shot to really prove to us that they've been working on something cool that's going to have 4K, or at least solid 1080p, and it'll be able to compete with the Xbox Series X and PS5.
Are people's expectations that ridiculous? Were they genuinely expecting a tiny 7-inch tablet to compete with that giant Series X? And as for the idea of increasing specs to optimize games, I would be fine with that, but games will end up being built specifically for this hypothetical new Switch, which would mean 84 million Switch users get needlessly excluded from new games because they couldn't be bothered to put them on the old Switch. This exact same thing happened with the new 3DS when they claimed that it couldn't run SNES games. Hey, look at me on my old 3DS running SNES games at 60 FPS. And even for games that genuinely can't run on the current Switch, just save it for next gen. Is it really worth alienating 80 million of your users so a very select few of them who could either be bothered to buy a second Switch or wanted to shell an extra $200 or so could play Bookworm Adventures HD? Also, I love the people complaining who have completely forgot the company they're complaining about. Oh, Nintendo is the new Apple. Nintendo is how about I introduce you to the 3DS XL, the DSi XL, the Game Boy Light. But these complaints have only started to exist with the Switch for some reason, don't ask why. So all in all, I think this thing looks pretty good and a pretty good upgrade from the standard Switch. Is it something everyone needs? No, especially if you have a red box Switch, but I got a Switch in 2017, the battery on it isn't too great. I think I'll probably get this when it comes out. But then again, what do I know? This thing should actually be 4K, 60 FPS, 7 billion FPS. It should be the size of a PS5. It should have a self-destruct button. Seriously, where's the self-destruct button, Nintendo?